Hi, my name is Dr. Shinjini and I am a Mumbai-based gynecologic laparoscopic surgeon. The purpose of this channel is to discuss health-related topics which are important for women. So we are now continuing in our series on menopause, and the last talk that was given was on calcium and its requirement during the menopausal age group. Today we are discussing the problem of osteoporosis. Now, for those who are not familiar with the term osteoporosis, basically osteoporosis is a term which means weakening of the bones. It is a very common knowledge that bone pains, bone aches are very common in the postmenopausal years, and all of us have heard of women who acquire fractures in the postmenopausal age group. All of us know that easy fractures are possible, and amongst our acquaintances also probably we do know a number of people in this age group, that is in the postmenopausal age group, who have got fractures. So basically osteoporosis is a condition in which there is weakening of the bones, and this leads to increased fragility of bones. Now, increased fragility can manifest as very easy fractures. Typically, the fractures which happen due to osteoporosis are fractures that are not caused by a large or a great fall. These are fractures which happen without much impact. That is, these are generally the fractures which a person will acquire with only a slight loss of movement, maybe just a small slip on the ground, sometimes just a twist or a turn, and falling from one's own height and not from height greater than that. Now, typically these fractures will affect certain parts of one's body more commonly, and this is the wrist, the hip and the spine. And since hip and spine fractures can be very disabling, and rarely these may be life-threatening too. So this talk today is very important when it comes to the series on menopause. Now let me tell you a fact. The fact is that osteoporosis is basically a silent disease. Many times women do not have any symptoms of osteoporosis, and they get diagnosed with this problem when they actually have a fracture. Now, fracture due to osteoporosis is so common that it is said that every 3 seconds in this world there is a fracture which will happen just because of this condition of osteoporosis. If a woman has a fracture in her menopausal years, the risk of having another fracture increases 5 times. And so it is very important for all women to be aware of this condition of weakened bones and how to take care, how to get diagnosed or screened at the right time, what are the preventive measures that can be taken, and if unfortunately it is diagnosed, then what are the treatment options available. So coming to the first fact, as I have already told you, these are basically fractures which happen due to a very small non-impact movement, sometimes so much so that it may just be a slight twist of the spine or maybe a sudden movement. Now let us first see that who are the people who are most at risk. So as I told you, anyway with aging, bones will become weak. Whether it is a man or a woman, both will have a slightly higher tendency for having weaker bones. But in a woman, this is much more prominent, and this weakening of bones can be more significant than when compared to men. Now, after the age of 50, when the estrogen drive in women falls down, this leads to a rapid demineralization of the bones. That is, the bones lose calcium much more faster than they were in the premenopausal years. And this is one of the causes of osteoporosis commonly seen in women who are in their menopausal age group. Are there other conditions which can lead to a more probability of developing osteoporosis? So yes, there are a few health related conditions that can increase the risk of osteoporosis, and amongst these will be conditions or risk factors I would say are women who are very thin or very lean, their body weight is much below the expected BMI. These are the women who will have weaker bones. Malnourished women also have a higher chance of developing prominent osteoporosis in their postmenopausal years. Apart from these, there are certain medications which a person may take because of certain health conditions, and let us say if a person is chronically on steroid or steroid based medicines, he or she has a higher chance of developing weaker bones. People who are on long term antacid treatments are also at a slightly higher risk, and also people who are on heparin treatment for combating increased coagulability of blood will also be at higher risk. So it is important to know that certain medications that you may be taking for years may hamper your calcium metabolism and may make you more prone to develop osteoporosis. Also, it is important to remember that certain women are on anti-estrogen treatment for certain conditions, like for example cancer of the breast. So certain medicines which act as anti-estrogen or against estrogen, one of the common examples is a medication called as tamoxifen. Now this treatment will further rapidly weaken a woman's bones. So you must know what medication are you on, whether this medication will long term affect your calcium metabolism and make you prone for osteoporosis. So apart from these risk factors, it is important to know that as such general aging will make bone remodeling more deficient, deposition of bones calcium will be less and absorption will be more. So as such even men after the age of 70 will have osteoporosis. So now let us see that how can you diagnose this condition of osteoporosis. So as I already told you, this is a condition which may be silent and may not be diagnosed unless and until you face a fracture, then meet a physician because of it, and then you are diagnosed with osteoporosis. So since this is a silent condition, it is recommended that a certain screening tests should be performed once you enter your menopausal years, and the most accurate screening index or screening test is a test which is known as the bone scan or the bone density scan, also known as the DEXA scan. Now the DEXA scan will give us certain values. Based on these values, we will quantify the patient as having normal bones or having weaker bones, which is known as osteopenia, or if the values fall very much on the lower side, then there is a gradation and we label the patient as having actual osteoporosis. So this is one test which is simple, non-painful. Basically it's just like another X-ray, and it gives us a fairly accurate estimation of the strength of our bones. Now once the diagnosis of osteoporosis is made, you must remember that this diagnosis is normally in Western literatures recommended after the age of 65 years. That is, Western schools sometimes recommend getting a bone densitometry scan done after 65. But this is not a very right idea, because by 65 you may already be osteoporotic. Then where is the role of prevention? So in my opinion, you must get a bone densitometry scan, that is a DEXA scan, when you start entering your perimenopause or in your early years of menopause itself. If osteopenia or porosis is diagnosed, then we can take the right steps at the right time rather than having a fracture and then starting the treatment. So with this being said, let us see what are the options available on how to prevent osteoporosis, and if unfortunately diagnosed as osteoporosis, what are the treatment options available. So let us see the role of lifestyle management in prevention of osteoporosis. So as I have already told in my previous videos, the role of calcium in one's diet is very important. You may have a look on my last video which speaks on calcium, how much is the daily need and what are the dietary foods that are rich in calcium. Here in short, calcium in diet supplementation is very important. One should have a knowledge on the food stuff that is rich in calcium and inculcate them in your diet. Second thing is replacement or calcium supplements should be taken in the menopausal age group, always with vitamin D. This I have already stated in my past video. So taking calcium with vitamin D in the recommended amounts will help your bones become stronger. If your doctor or gynecologist prescribes you HRT for other reasons other than osteoporosis also, then HRT may also help in calcium boosting and calcium metabolism and may prevent early osteoporosis. So apart from being careful on what you are having in your diet, making a point to take the appropriate amount of calcium in your diet, what is the next thing that you can do? Yes, exercises play a very important role in maintaining bone strength. So what are these exercises that will help you prevent osteoporosis or at least delay the onset of osteoporosis? One of the most important things that you must remember that in your later years of life, it is very important to have a balance of cardio type of exercises, which means brisk walking, along with adding a certain amount of weight training exercises. Now alongside with the cardio, that is brisk walking, it is very important to introduce certain strength training or weight training exercises, because these will improve the muscle mass, and once the muscle mass improves, it actually strengthens the bone. So with an appropriate advice, you must start a little bit of weight training along with balanced walking, brisk walking or cardio. Now let us see what do we do if we are diagnosed with osteopenia, severe osteopenia or osteoporosis itself. So there are a number of good preparations, good medications in the market available which will help combat osteoporosis. So apart from adding calcium and appropriate amounts of vitamin D in your diet, these are the group of drugs that according to your individual need, your gynecologist or physician may prescribe to take care of osteoporosis. Now I will just mention these medications briefly. This video is not meant to replace your gynecologist's advice or your physician's advice. However, it is wise to know what are the drugs or medications that are available to kind of combat or take care of osteoporosis. And one of the commonly used medications is HRT or hormone replacement therapy. Now per se, if you have only osteoporosis, no other symptoms, your gynecologist may not prescribe the HRT. HRT However, if prescribed to achieve a balance to combat the other menopausal symptoms, will definitely help you in strengthening your bones. Apart from this, the selective estrogen receptor modulators, or commonly known as the SERMs, this group of medications are also protective on the bone, and sometimes nowadays we also use them in our HRT regimens, and these SERMs may be prescribed, and these are really helpful in bone formation and prevention of resorption of bone and overall increase in the strength of bones. So this was the second group of drugs. The third group of medications are known as biphosphonate group of medications, and these compounds are generally well used. They have been used over a large number of years in the past. They are quite well tolerated and help a lot in women who are having osteoporosis. It is recommended that these medicines be taken only with the advice of your doctor. These can be given either in oral, or sometimes, if the need so arises, even through the intravenous route. These are fairly well tolerated with some side effect profiles present. Those will be taken by your physician. Common side effects are, they can cause a little bit of esophageal ulcers, gastric ulcers. Sometimes very long-term use may cause the jawbone necrosis. However, these are not very common symptoms. They are very, very rare. If properly taken under the advice of your physician as directed by your physician, then these have very good long-term results. Very long use is not recommended. However, this will be best advised by your physician. Nowadays, we have another group of medications which are known as anabolic agents or bone anabolic agents. Now, these group of drugs, which commonly go by the brand name of Tymlos, are also available. These are basically derivatives of a parathyroid hormone, and these also help in bone deposition directly, and results are very, very good in terms of improving osteoporosis. These are not recommended over a year or two of use. However, if you fall in the category of severe osteoporosis, these are very, very helpful and relatively safe agents which could be prescribed by your physician. Apart from this, the last category of drugs are not very commonly used. These are another hormone which is known as calcitonin. It is available as a nasal spray, but could be very, very useful in that group of women or patients wherein the oral or the IV preparations are contraindicated. So these were the very basic medications, or the group of medications, a basic talk on them, which are useful for treating osteoporosis. Remember, this entity of osteoporosis is very important to troubleshoot during the menopausal and postmenopausal years, and all of us should be aware in our general health checkups, which should be done yearly at least. I would say we should go and ask our physician and gynecologist about the state of health of our bones and what should be done about maintaining bone strength. With this, I will wind up today, and my next talk will be on the very, very common problem of vaginal dryness, which is faced by menopausal women, and we will be discussing this in the next video. Taking leave here, signing out, Dr. Shinjit.